Welcome to The Stack, a weekly podcast where we discuss the latest in the world of sales, marketing, and tech and dive into interesting topics like SEO, content marketing, video, and more. I'm your host, Sean Henry.
I'm Tim Sapersky.
And I am Ryan Sylvester.
I see we're all practicing our radio voices.
Yes, we are.
Wonderful. Today is Friday,
September
7th. And this is the first day I'm back in the office after about 2 weeks of travel.
How do you feel?
Tired?
Yep.
Very tired. But it was fun. It was fun. We had...
Where were you?
I was in Ireland, glorious country of Ireland, last week. And then this week we were up at Inbound.
Which was
HubSpot's
fun.
annual conference. It was. What did you guys think of it?
Go ahead, Tim. You're the big, deep breath in.
Inbound is always a blast. You learn a lot, meet a lot of interesting people.
I like the swag, most of it.
There's a lot of swag. I have to shout out to SEM Rush for giving out some killer power banks, which, you know, I have so much power right now. It makes me very happy.
My power bank died. Like, I know that they're not supposed to be like charged right out of the box, but come on.
Oh, like it just lost power, but it may potentially have more life in it if you recharge it.
I would think so.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with these power banks that they give away at conferences and trade shows. They're not like...
Oh, yeah, of course.
The one that HubSpot gave away, though, is...
It's like the Costco version of a AA battery compared to, you know, whatever the premium AA is.
As long as Duracell.
What is it?
Duracell. Just
Duracell, huh?
But as long
not
as...
Energizer?
No.
But the bunny.
No.
If you need a mascot, you are not premium.
I like the Energizer. What is it? The Energizer Rabbit? What's it? Does he have an
bunny. Energizer
it's
bunny.
A bunny? Yeah.
Bunny.
I like him because he's got a real...
I don't have to know his name.
Real pep to his step.
I like the Duracell one where they have the battery in the child locator. You ever seen that?
Oh.
No? It's
No.
like this mom freaks out at a playground and thank God Duracell battery had the power to charge her location device on her child.
Wait, I mean, because she was like
Looking at
microchipping her kid?
She's looking at her phone.
Yeah, probably.
No, but like the kid had a microchip like
I swear to
behind
God,
its ear
I'll
or
look
something.
up. We'll put it in the show notes, I swear. But
Facebook must be all over that.
she just like pressed a button and then it started beeping and then whatever his name is ran out of the woods. I swear, I'll
Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Duracell to the rescue. Good feelings.
Mm.
Good. What else? What was your like number one takeaway from Inbound?
My number one takeaway, which is something I know we talked a bit about, and we're not entirely sure we agree with, is just the fact that HubSpot seems to be really doubling down on this this idea of delighting the customer as some new kind of revelation, which it's important. You should make your customer really happy so they become evangelists for you. But I don't know why it's just dawned on them.
Yeah. So Brian Halligan's, for our listeners, Brian Halligan, the CEO of HubSpot, his keynote was, I would say it was focused on, you know, how he usually all of his keynotes every year at Inbound is kind of on like how he sees things changing and like, you know, what his revelation has been as he looks at the world of sales and marketing. And HubSpot recently rolled out a new side to their software. So initially it was just marketing, and then it was marketing and sales, and now it's marketing, sales, and service. So they've kind of rounded out their platform to appeal to all of the departments that touch the customer experience, which I think is a great thing. But the keynote was around the idea that he sees how in the same way, you know, 10 years ago or so, the funnel changed and there was all this opportunity around inbound marketing. Now he sees that pivoting towards, well, you need to double down on delighting your customers, and that'll provide a greater ROI than if you, it seemed as though he was saying that provides a greater ROI than if you focus on things like traffic growth and lead generation. I don't know if that's what he intended, but that's the message that I heard him communicating. And I don't agree with that. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree. I think customer delight is critical, and it absolutely will provide a positive ROI. It's something every business should do if it has any hope of being successful. But yeah, to your point, I don't think it shouldn't be a new thing.
No,
right?
I would agree. Even back in college, like when I was back in my marketing 101 classes.
You mean 3 months ago.
Okay, no, but we would always learn about getting everyone to that.
Look at you, young.
Shut up. Getting everyone to that promoter
Joints
spot.
doesn't even hurt yet.
Yes, they. What?
Oh, actually, his joints probably crack more than anyone's.
Oh, really?
I have 2 fractured vertebrae.
Yeah. Sorry, we'll finish your thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
So getting everyone to the promoter spot is going to be the best thing for your business. And I don't think that it takes Brian Halligan to tell us that.
Yeah.
I think as a marketer, you should know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of talked and you were going back and forth about, I don't know if I like the message or blah, blah, blah. And we kind of said, well, is inbound marketing different now? And I kind of said to you, well, he kind of just changed the name. You know, I don't know if inbound marketing is dead, but it's definitely changed. You know, it has a different name.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so inbound, if you look at the inbound methodology that a HubSpot, they coined it. They had this chart that like you've seen all over the place. We use it.
Right.
At the end of that chart, it was about delighting your customers so that they become evangelists. That's always been a part of the inbound methodology. So it's not a new thing. It's not new to be coming from HubSpot either. I definitely don't disagree with the idea that that is a good thing and that you should want word of mouth to be your top source of new leads and customers, which that's what HubSpot is now saying. That is now their top source of leads and customers. But again, I took issue mostly with the fact that it's a change or a new thing. I just don't think it is. It's clearly a new thing for HubSpot. You know, they've made some changes. They're seeing a difference, but it shouldn't be a change in your approach, I believe. I don't know. Maybe they're just kind of making up for not focusing on that aspect enough in their messaging previously.
Maybe.
Which that I think is a good thing. So I don't know. What else would you guys think of the product announcements that came out?
Big focus on enterprise, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, mostly enterprise. I'm really excited about HubSpot Video, but they didn't really
do a
tease
ton with
too
it,
much.
and the only 2 sessions really were at Partner Day.
Yeah. Well, why don't we dive in? So let's go into our normal, whatever we're going to call it, the focus of the show, where we
weekly roundup.
The weekly roundup where we talk about the blog posts, articles, news headlines that really caught our interest. And of course, the big thing this week is all the product announcements coming from HubSpot at Inbound. And if you want to see a list of some of the highlights, I mean, these are just a handful of the announcements. There's probably dozens more that aren't listed here, but you could find them at hubspot.com/new. And of course, if anybody has any interest in seeing any of these firsthand, you could always reach out to us. We'll walk you through it, show you some of the firsthand. But Tim, what's the first thing that they have here on the list? I'll say it's the growth suite.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I was a little confused about what you were talking about.
Well, so they've rounded out the platform now again to cover all aspects of what it takes to grow, right?
Yeah, I think I'm forgetting exactly. They had another chart, comparing where they were last year to where they are this year in terms of the offering. Yeah. And it is a lot more robust in terms of like, if you are brand new to inbound marketing, you can use HubSpot and go. If you've been doing it for a little while, you can pick up HubSpot and go. And if you've been around for a long time and you have a really robust, mature company, you can now pick up HubSpot and have all of those tools ready to go.
I would argue that that's the main message, though. Like even Brian Halligan said it in his presentation, is like, we love startups. We love working with startups. We interview startups. We get most of our suggestions from them. But now it was more of a focus on, hey, we want those big, huge companies. Yeah. And they're going to, at the end of the day, going to pay, HubSpot more money and help them grow. So I get it. But, at the same time.
Well, yeah. So I think early on they decided to go after small to maybe mid-sized businesses, and they've served them well since day one. And they still do, and I think they will continue to do that. But where there was a challenge, if you were that small to mid-sized business who is determined to grow, you're probably thinking, am I going to outgrow this system as time moves on? And that may have caused many to pause and say, well, no, maybe I should look at some of their competitors, because I don't want to outgrow this and have to have a big systems change, 1 to 2 or 5 years down the road. And that was true. I think when you got to the enterprise size company, HubSpot was not a good solution because it couldn't be tailored to different teams or departments, product lines, and that's how large companies are organized. Like they want their own set of templates that they have access to, while the team on the second floor doesn't have access to it. They have their own set of templates and content and things like that. And with some of the new features that they announced at the enterprise level, that's now possible. You could kind of partition off different sections of HubSpot in a way that aligns with the needs of a larger business. So it's a very good thing.
It's especially they pointed this out. It's especially important for sort of multinational companies. You can slice and dice based off of nation. You can slice and dice based off of even state level. However you want to partition your team in terms of what contacts or assets or content within HubSpot that they have access to, you can do it. There's a lot more power there.
We've also rolled in automatic currency conversion, supporting multiple currencies, just a whole lot of features that really those larger companies need. On the other side, if you are a brand new business and you're, 2 or 3 people and you couldn't afford $200 or $800 subscription with Marketing Basic or Marketing Pro in the past, they've gone the other direction as well, where they now have all the free options across marketing, sales, and service. But then they have the starter package at $50 a month. So small businesses who aren't ready to invest, they can get started, which is a great thing, and eventually grow with the platform over time. So kudos to them there. Now, the growth suite itself, if you are convinced day one you want to go all in on the platform, they've incentivized. How do you say that word? I struggle with certain words.
Incentivize.
Thank you.
Sorry that I said it like that. I don't know why I did that.
If you bundle it, like you want to get all these in one shot, they're going to discount it pretty heavily. So there's some incentive in just day one going after it all, which, to be honest, if you start using the software, you're going to want to expand into those other areas.
I will say it is, it's a bit of a steep jump now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was nice to have that sort of stepping stone. I'm a little sad that they took it away.
Well, we talked about this though.
Yeah.
I think if you start with starter, the thinking is that eventually as you grow, you're going to add to the amount of contacts that you have. So, the way that HubSpot does its pricing is you're kind of paying for the number of contacts that you're marketing and selling to. So as that naturally grows, your cost kind of incrementally gets up to that higher tier. Right. And then suddenly you're at the point where it just makes sense to go for some of these higher packages. So it'll be interesting though. And I imagine they'll evolve it as time goes on. The big one that we're excited about, of course,
so
is
excited about
video, right? Yeah.
Yeah. You can speak to this a little bit more, but there's now going to be right out of the box HubSpot video creation capability.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like woven in and out the whole platform, which is great.
Which is really cool. I'm just a little bummed that I did not have the opportunity to see a demo of it in action. At HubSpot, I really thought they've been hyping it up for a while, and they didn't.
Right.
Puts a lot of pressure on the, other party, video production stuff out there. So
yeah,
I'm sure that's what they meant to do, but.
Well, let me read the description of the product. So it is video creation, hosting, and management. Again, it's in both the sales, marketing, and service side of the platform. Their key message there is that video, it should be a core part of your business strategy. It's not just a one-off tactic that you should be using here and there. And that's because people desire that face-to-face human interaction when they're working with a business. So it makes total sense, the internet technology has evolved where it's very easy to deliver video. People aren't as concerned about speeds anymore, so that, they'll gladly watch something on their phone. So it's become much more accessible. It makes total sense to use it in your marketing. So they say HubSpot now offers a series of video tools woven throughout our marketing, sales, and customer service software. With functionality that includes video creation, hosting, management, and measurement, you'll be able to elevate the video strategy across your entire business to match how people watch video today. And using those tools, you can, create actionable, automated, ROI positive video campaigns that include built-in CTAs and forms. Your sales team will build stronger relationships with prospects through authentic one-to-one video emails, and your customer service team will help customers faster using personalized one-to-one video tickets. Now, we've done all that at Pepperland. I've recorded videos for individual prospects who've reached out to us, telling them how to do certain things or giving them advice.
And me and Tim have always planned to do videos.
Yeah, we'll get them on camera.
Whenever Sean has recommended that I do a video, I have very readily agreed and then done something else.
Disregarded it. Yep.
I needed a haircut, and now that I have a haircut, I can get in front of the camera because I'm sharp again.
But even for our marketing, some of our top referral source is YouTube now. We've gotten several deals directly from YouTube. We are now signing some contracts from videos that we create on YouTube. So we've seen firsthand that it is a great way to generate qualified leads and to develop a relationship. I think we're going to be doubling down in video in the year ahead. I think all businesses really should. And, fortunately, if you're using HubSpot, it's now there across really every tool that you might use. So very pumped about that. And if you're using Pro or Enterprise, you have it. There's no additional cost. So I think a lot of people will be surprised when they're logging into HubSpot and say, well, what is this? I didn't know that was going to be there.
One of the things I don't see in this list, and there's a video at the top, it might be in the video, but we went to a session that talked about the email, or no, that was the keynote.
So actually, and when I was talking with someone from the HubSpot area, the drag and drop sort of WYSIWYG, MailChimp-esque email builder has already been in beta testing, and we've
but
actually
not for Pro.
Well, so we've had access to it in beta, but whenever I've gone to create an email, it tends to be urgent, so I go to what I know. I ignore the try beta. Right. So I have completely tuned it out, but I'm really excited about it. Not so much for myself, but I think that it could make some of the email building a little bit easier for some of our clients, and for some in general, some businesses that have used MailChimp in the past, it's nice to go to something similar to what you've used.
Right.
So I see some potential there. It's really cool.
Makes it easy for me. I like it.
Yeah. So there's obviously much more that they either kind of quietly released at the conference or very publicly released it. So definitely encourage you to go and check that out.
Yeah.
So there are a few other, we don't want to only talk about HubSpot. So I think we've all got like 1 or 2 articles that we want to spotlight.
I've got 3.
Well, why don't you give us your top one? Because we don't want to keep them listening to us forever.
We don't?
You guys could listen to us as long as you'd like.
I guess the one that's probably the most consequential is this article titled, where is it? Google, sites using a lot of JavaScript may not be moved to mobile first indexing. This is on Search Engine Journal by Matt Southern. We'll share a link in the not the meeting notes, the show notes once we publish it. But more or less, what this article is talking about is the fact that Google's John Mueller, he was helping a website owner. He cautions them that using a lot of JavaScript on your website may prevent your site from being moved to mobile first indexing, which that's a big deal. I mean, you think about how common JavaScript is across the web.
Yeah.
How many websites are using it, and if you're using too much, you might be penalized for that.
Totally. Yeah. And we've been looking at the whole area around JavaScript and mobile first indexing quite a bit lately, right? Just before the call, we were doing a little experimentation there,
which was pretty shocking, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It's when people think about web marketing, SEO marketing, they think about keywords and how ranking for certain keywords are, it's going to get you traffic and blah, 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 blah. And that's true. That's a huge part of inbound marketing, SEO marketing, all that. But people tend to ignore a lot of people tend to ignore the more technical stuff, like how your website's built.
Yeah.
And the impact that can really have you could have the best content out there targeting a certain
but your
search
navigation
phrase
sucks and no one can find it, or search engine
exactly.
can't find it.
What we were doing, and I would encourage anybody who's listening to try, we went into Chrome and we disabled JavaScript in Chrome. And the reason we did that is because many search engines, excluding Google, still do not crawl and render. Well, they don't render JavaScript, so they're not going to crawl, say, links that are only accessible with JavaScript enabled and fully executed. So a good thing to try is to disable JavaScript in your browser and go through your website and see if you can get to all the important pages on your site the way you normally could. And quite often you're going to find you can't. So the site that I'm not going to mention that we're looking at, very heavily visited website, over 1 million sessions per month. If you disable JavaScript on that site, you can't get past the homepage because the links are gone. Everything breaks. So if you are any search engine other than Google that is attempting to crawl, that site, it's going to have a hard time. Even Google, if there's an issue with your JavaScript and it runs into that error, it may just stop. So even with Google, who's pretty sophisticated with this, it could run into trouble in a situation like that. And it's just not something that I think gets enough attention. So disable JavaScript. Try clicking through your website, see if there's any issues. And then on the mobile first indexing side of things, try browsing your website on a mobile device and pay attention to the links that are visible on your mobile navigation, your mobile homepage compared to your desktop. Are you scaling back the links that are present on your mobile version? If so, you may run into some issues when Google starts to crawl your site mobile first. So not entirely what the article talked about, but I think those are things to...
Well, and it's just, for people thinking, well, who cares about the search engines other than Google? Bing, Yahoo, who cares? I mean, but if you think about on a multinational level, like Baidu, whatever,
totally.
China's search engine. If let's say if you want to reach that Chinese market, that's the search engine you need. And if they don't understand what your website's about, you're gone.
Yeah.
So it's not just domestically Google's competitors. It's everyone.
Right. Good one.
And just real quick, because the headline was kind of shocking to me, I'm going to throw it out there. I'm sorry. I like hearing myself talk. Also from Search Engine Journal by Matt Southern. Headline: over 25% of Facebook users have deleted the app from their phone.
Do you believe that?
It's from the Pew Research Center. So because
it seems high. I mean, maybe it's true.
That's a huge number.
Just a couple of quick bullets from their survey. 54% of users have adjusted their privacy settings. This is all within the past year. 42% have taken a break from checking Facebook for several weeks or longer. 26% have deleted the Facebook app from their phone, and 74% have done at least one of the above. This really depends a lot on age breakdown. Just for example, 44% of users between the ages of 18 and 29 have deleted the Facebook app, compared to only 12% of users age 65 or older.
That is incredibly shocking to me.
This is self-reported,
right,
I believe. So
here's my issue with it. I think they needed to slice this by normal daily active users, like those people who deleted off their phone. How many of them hadn't opened up the app anyway in a month?
It's fair,
and maybe they do, but I think that's a missing. I didn't read this article, so maybe it does address this.
I'll have to take a look at the original research because this is also just a recap. But it was just, either way, that's a...
Well, so like I have Snapchat on my phone. I can't tell you the last time I opened up that app.
I'll be honest. Snapchat?
I've accidentally snapped at people before, probably during very embarrassing moments. But
I am not.
Oh man,
I am by
you
no.
ever do that? Like you accidentally go to the story feature in an app or something.
No, I'm not sure how you pocket dial things on the smartphones, but you do very regularly.
I did a Facebook Live video when I was taking the dogs out one night.
It was enthralling.
I was getting really angry at the dogs too because they're all tangled up.
Oh my!
People are.
Oh man!
I am by no means a daily Snapchat user, but we will include this in the show notes because it's beautiful. I Snapchatted A-Rod at Inbound.
That was interesting.
With some beautiful filters, and it just makes me so happy, and it should make everyone else happy. That's enough from Tim. So I'm sorry.
So I'll take my article next. This is one of those articles that I'm mad that I didn't get to first, because this is something that I've kind of gone on about a bit. We sort of got to this with one of our blog posts about a year ago on the different types of pillar pages. but I talked about, so it's not quite a pillar page, but it's a page on your site that's acting like a bit like a content hub, i.e. a category page, whether that's a blog post or an e-commerce or something. And I just am always thinking these category pages that are created by blogs, by e-commerce sites, they are such a missed opportunity because everybody just seems to stick with the default format that, say, WordPress creates, where it says like latest in pink blankets. I don't know. I couldn't think of a category. I like coming up with these
on the spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually lawnmower, but we'll go with pink
I like
blankets.
lawnmowers. Yeah. So like red t-shirts, right? But everybody, they neglect it. You know, there's no creativity gone into these category pages, but they tend to be some of the most heavily linked to pages on your website. Like 90% of your website links to these category pages, but nobody puts any emphasis or effort to try to make them strong landing pages for a searcher, which is a big missed opportunity. So this article, it is how to create category pages that rank and convert 10 times higher. It's by Cyrus Shepard on Zippy. It's right, zippy.com, I believe.
Zippy.
It's a fun domain.
Yeah.
Great blog post. It really gets exactly to it. Like,
well, I'm thinking this is something that, like you said, it's something you've talked about quite a lot. Like 18 months ago, just for fun, I launched a website myself, and I was putting a lot of time into thinking about the category names and what I expected the users would be searching for, and what I expected those category pages should look like. And your advice was, it doesn't matter, it's going to change once you have some data, first of all. And I was like, what does Sean know? And I did what I wanted to do. And now I'm looking back, it's like, these suck. They're the wrong terms. They're called the wrong things. And frankly, the pages are just, like you said, the latest in, when it should be more of an experience.
Mm-hmm. So this is what he says in the article. He says they are everywhere, created automatically by popular blogging and e-commerce platforms. They are persistent in navigation and heavily linked to within your site architecture. On the other hand, they are often ignored by authors, users, and search engines alike. With only a little bit of effort, you can create category pages that actually stand out, rank, and successfully engage your audience. And he then goes on to walk through how you might do that and includes a very nice infographic giving you a visual of what it might look like. And in the infographic, I'll just kind of walk through top to bottom what it includes. Let me go back to it. At the top, you have your headline, and his example is great mystery books. And that's followed by some user-centric copy, something nobody adds to their category page, even if it's just a short paragraph, like tee things up, give some sort of introductory language there before you dive directly into the content. Follows that up with the links to related categories and subcategories. So historical, suspense, clowns, horror, thrillers.
Clowns.
So there's always subcategories within a main category, right? And you can imagine the subcategories do exactly the same thing in their layout. After that, they have top-rated popular products and posts with reviews, and then recommended. So this is kind of the curated content, recommended brands and articles or authors, guides and tools. So I imagine a lot of these blog posts or products have buying guides or ebooks associated with it. So the category page is also leading into those downloadable gated assets. And then it gets to sorting and filtering controls, and then just the normal format of I don't know if is it paginated or pagin.
I would say
I think it's pagination.
Pagination.
Sean,
Pagination, imagination.
Well, I only know because I did all that research this
Yeah,
morning.
yeah.
I meant to say this earlier when you were talking about it. Is it Marketo or Marketo?
Oh God,
It's got to be Marketo.
damn.
Sean doesn't like how I pronounce things.
Yes.
Or the phrase, I'm going to wolf down something.
Yeah.
Just don't say wolf.
When we're done with this, I'm going to the store, getting me a salad, and I'm going to wolf it down. Sorry. Anyway, back to this.
Yeah. So anyway, really, really good visual, and I just wish everybody would do
It's
this.
giving me some ideas.
Yeah. Good stuff.
On the side of content, so I went to a really interesting session. It was all about repurposing content.
Session at Inbound.
Session at Inbound, yep. And the presenter, her name was Brittany Berger. Awesome last name.
Oh,
Now that's what I want to say to myself.
Yeah.
Bacon cheeseburger, blue cheese with bacon.
That's
Oh,
what
man.
I had at the hotel.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
It was,
yeah,
that
when
was
you-
probably worth
when you
$50,
skipped out on-
whatever it cost.
it was 20. It was
20.
good, but $20 for a burger. Back to the other burger.
And she was talking about like this minimalistic content marketing. And I told Sean this morning, and she had said, I wrote a year's worth of blog posts and basically took another year off, which is a bit of a stretch. I think it would be hard for us to do, but we all know this, like taking a piece of content. So we did something like this for Pepperland for the pillar page. We turned it into its own pillar page. We turned it into a masterclass, which was a video. We have videos within the post. We talk about it on the podcast, but she said basically taking it from text to video to audio, which is what we did. And we really expanded it. So if you have, if this were me or us right now, we have a client of ours that we could probably do this for, taking their high traffic, high value landing pages, turning that into a video, putting that video on the blog post, and putting that into a podcast.
Right. I think it makes total sense.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it makes sense to everyone, but the fact is that you have to actually go out there and do it.
Sure. Yeah,
it took us how long to make those videos?
Yeah.
And turn it into a podcast, but
because you can, and I could see you can stop your new content creation if that's what you want to do. But I feel like that. Me personally, I feel like that's the wrong decision. I feel like you want to be.
I think it should be
pause.
Yeah. But what's interesting about it is it probably is a heck of a lot easier to repackage a blog post into a video and then into a podcast because you've already done the research. You've already thought through the message that you want to communicate. And that is often the hardest part. It's figuring out what it is you want to say, and the right way to say it. So if you've written a blog post that's performing pretty well, you've validated that there's some interest and some ROI in it. You are tapping into totally different audiences if you then distribute that in video format or an audio format. Like on the way back from Inbound, Tim probably hated me for it, but I put on a podcast version of
I'm so glad
of
it's
a
a
book.
car.
of a book that HubSpot put out. Who we actually met the author at the conference.
Dan Vivian, right?
No,
I know. I confused the two HubSpot Dans. I apologize.
There's two different Dans at HubSpot, and it gets a little.
I'm sure there's more.
Probably, yeah. They're the only two Dans at HubSpot. But I mean, I like what they did. They have a book called Inbound Organization, which I bought, and it's been sitting here at the office. And I always pretend I'm going to read books. And,
follow us on Instagram to see a picture of it later today.
Right. But my problem is, I'm pretty busy. So what usually ends up happening is I'll buy a book and I don't read it. And then 2 months later, I get the audio version of it on Audible and I listen to it while I'm cutting the grass, which takes me 3 hours every weekend. Or, if I can get the information on YouTube or in a podcast, I'll often seek it out that way. So, that's how people live. It's how they consume information. It's not always going to be text.
It's always about getting the most out of your content, but at the same time, not beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
And, I think that we've probably been an abuser of that at some point.
Sure.
But let me give you an example. So in her presentation, she said, Bruno Mars changed up a song that no one knew on an old album in 2016. He changed it to an upbeat rhythm and added the well-known Cardi B.
Whoa.
Which
and
song
now
is this?
that same song that now has a different beat and another singer has won awards and has been on the top charts in
Hot
the
dog.
country. So, a simple change. I mean, sometimes we change a URL and it totally, changes the traffic we get. So it's all about those small changes, but calibrated small changes.
The Beatles did that. They had a song called One After 909 that they recorded in the early days of the Beatles.
Back in the 80s.
But then they reintroduced it on Let It Be. Total different feel to it, and it's really good.
Yeah, but I mean, even since the band has broken up and songs have stopped being made, different versions of songs are being made, and it keeps the Beatles, around and relevant and all that stuff. So it's always updating, refreshing, republishing.
Just on that note, I gotta throw it out there. Weezer, you should not have done a cover of Africa.
Oh, they're definitely listening, I'm sure.
It's just I like it.
I like it. I'm sorry.
I like it. But you added nothing to it, and as a consumer, that bothers me.
Who wants to do their best attempt at singing that song?
Not me.
In the style of Bruno Mars.
Oh, definitely not
What?
me.
You can't do it?
I
no,
don't want
no
Well, that's
creativity.
Sean. Go for it.
No.
the whistling and humming. Sean Henry is now quiet.
You could probably whistle a good version of that song.
I don't know how well whistling would come across on the microphone.
Oh, it would be awful. Oh,
We'll see that later. Hopefully, I didn't
yeah.
break anyone's ears.
Yeah. Okay. So one other thing, I don't know if they touched on this in the presentation, but so I love the idea of kind of repackaging content and just getting more mileage out of it by using different formats. What we found works really well is just making sure there's also that linkage between the different formats. So,
Bi-directional linking.
right. So it's very, very common that we'll see somebody stumbles across a video on YouTube, but needs to like understand it a little bit better. So they'll click on the link to the related blog post in the YouTube description, come to the website, read that information, sometimes go back to YouTube. And it's after that back and forth that we then get the person reaching out to us through live chat. So it's just you want to have that linkage between things. Don't just chop it up and leave it out there. Some SEO benefit to that.
True.
Just before we close up, speaking of going back, you mentioned live chat. Just want to mention HubSpot has announced that is now free for it's on
They
HubSpot
put a
marketing
big
free.
emphasis on the bots.
So it's just that was something I meant to mention when we were talking about HubSpot. So thanks for reminding me.
Cool. Well, I think that's it for this week. We'll be back next Friday, and go to the website to check out the show notes if you want to see links to anything that we talked about this week. Would love it if you subscribed and left a review for us on iTunes
Or SoundCloud.
or SoundCloud.
Or come in and say hi.
That would be nice.
I
Yeah.
know.
Come in and say hi. We really like
Pizza,
pizza.
beer, and burgers.
I'm actually really sad that we didn't get pizza up in Boston.
I know.
Yeah, but
I know.
It's not known for it, but we were talking about it and it made me want it.
Oh, let me.
And that never
Here's my
happened.
other complaint. If Boston, if you're listening, why does a Wendy's close at 10 o'clock?
Seriously.
they have Wendy's in Boston?
There was
There
a
was one right
Wendy's.
across from.
Wait,
hotel.
Wendy's isn't it? I'm thinking of Duchess if you're from Connecticut.
Never been.
But they don't have Duchess outside of Connecticut, do they?
I don't know. I
no,
saw
I don't believe
Honeydew
so.
in Massachusetts, and I thought that was an only
Yeah.
Rhode Island thing.
Yeah. Now, if you have never heard of Duchess and you happen to be passing through Connecticut, please treat yourself to a double bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich.
Okay. So yeah, those are delicious, but
Or a hot dog.
also I don't agree with the hot dog, but the chicken sandwich, the breaded fried chicken sandwich, so good.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called.
All right. Well, tune in next week. We'll see you.